What a great sleep! Nothing like a refreshing night's sleep to make you feel like a new man! Time for a nutritious breakfast. I'll just mosey on over to the kitchen and see what I can find. Yeah, that's how you start a good day. Alright, ready to go. Man, I'm in such a good mood today, nothing can bring me down. Nope. Not letting anything get me down today. No, sir. No, indeed. No. Not letting anything get in my way today. Ugh. God. What was that thing? What the fuck? I'm not the only one seeing these things, am I? I mean, these things are definitely real, right? I mean, I just started seeing them after that weird cat thing hit me in the head, and I'm not entirely sure what they are. I mean, are they hallucinations? Are they visions? Are they just another sign of my growing insanity? Wait. Someone familiar has gone through this. Someone I know. Someone I'm intimately familiar with. Right, of course! Natsume! Of course! This is just like your anime, Natsume Yūjin-chō. Guess that means what I must be seeing is Yokai, or Ayakashi. Well, I'm not gonna let them distract me. I'm gonna go through your anime in painstaking detail to figure out how to stop seeing these weird-ass things. I mean, there's gotta be an answer there, right? That'll probably work, won't it? I doubt it. Okay. So, Natsume Yūjin-chō, aka Natsume's Book of Friends, was originally a shoujo manga series that was serialized in La DX in 2005, before later switching to La in 2008. The series was then adapted into 4 separate anime series, directed by Takahiro Omori, produced by Brainspace, and it aired on TV Tokyo between 2008 and 2012, with a total of 52 episodes and 1 OVA, with a 5th season coming in October this year. Yeah, that's fascinating and everything. I always love talking about the history of cartoons, but these yokai are really starting to give me a headache, or Ayakashi, or whatever they are. So I'm gonna take a look at your anime series, Natsume Yūjin-chō, and maybe I'll find the solution to this incredibly stupid problem. I always like when a series has a basic plot without many twists and turns, because it makes my job nice and easy. And speaking of nice and easy, this series revolves around Takashi Natsume, an orphan boy who has the ability to see what are called yokai and ayakashi, or spirits in our terms. These yokai cause endless trouble for Natsume, since most people can't see them, and cause Natsume to act very strange, frightening and confusing his friends and caregivers. However, when Natsume moves to the countryside with 2 new caregivers, he accidentally unseals a powerful yokai called Madara, who takes the form of a maneki neko, or lucky cat statue. Madara, aka Nyanko-Sensei, explains that Natsume's grandmother, Reiko Natsume, was also able to see yokai and collected their names in a book of contracts called the Yūjin-chō, so that whenever she called a yokai's name, they would have to obey her command unconditionally. Because of the power that the Yūjin-chō could give someone, many yokai try to hunt Natsume down and take it for themselves. Natsume then decides to return the names inside the Yūjin-chō to their respective owners to put the rest the actions of his grandmother. Huh. Maybe this plot is more complicated than I thought. I guess it just doesn't feel that complicated because of how well the narrative flows, going from past to present with nary a misstep. True, not everything is explained well, or even at all sometimes, but that's actually a positive in this instance, and I'll elaborate as to why in a little bit. What's that? You're not feeling well. Okay, I can go get you some medicine or something. Ugh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I hope that doesn't stain. Talking about the character. Talking about. Alright, why are you doing that? Why are you screaming? Why are you doing that? Just shut up! Okay? Just stay like that. Please. I have a job to do here. So talking. Put your helmets on, people. There's about to be a giant tidal wave of ass kissing coming. Takashi Natsume is the focus of the series, and is an orphan boy who has been passed around from relative to relative, never finding a permanent home, as he frightens his caretakers and people in general with his ability to see yokai. As a result, Natsume became distant and detached from people, though he could never truly connect with the yokai either, as they are beyond human understanding. Caught between 2 uncaring worlds, Natsume does his best to be a kind and gentle person, even though he was dealt such an unfortunate hand in life. Natsume shares a lot of similarities with Norman from Paranorman, and that's a great thing. I've always had a weak spot for characters who are shunned and despised purely for the things that make them special, as I can definitely relate to that situation. Just like with Norman though, if you can't relate to Natsume on a personal level, you may find him a wee bit gloomy, but much less so than others, because he always tries to remain optimistic despite the intense fear and uncertainty he lives in every day. The more the series goes on, the more Natsume begins to become a vital part of both worlds, but even so, there's never any hint that Natsume is part of any grand destiny or anything like that. Even with such special and strong powers, things remain rather low-key in his life, and that's something I can definitely respect. To condense everything into a single point, I'll just say that I adore Natsume and feel genuine sadness, happiness, pity, and joy with him every step of the way. Then there's Madara, who Natsume calls Nyanko-Sensei, an extremely powerful and majestic Ayakashi who prefers to keep in his material form of a maneki neko. When Natsume accidentally unseals Nyanko-Sensei, he decides to stay with Natsume, agreeing to be his bodyguard in exchange for the Yūjin-chō once Natsume dies. Beyond that, however, Nyanko-Sensei is an alcoholic, overeating, tone-deaf, selfish pig who laments every time Natsume returns a name from the Yūjin-chō. Nyanko-Sensei and Natsume's relationship reminds me a lot of Brian and Stewie's relationship from Family Guy, where the two profess to hate each other and don't really get along, but there's a deeper bond between the two that they care not to talk about. Though I enjoy Nyanko-Sensei's presence, I will say that he definitely should be a supporting character only. When he gets in the spotlight, he can be a tad annoying. As for the side characters, you've got Shuichi Natori, a handsome actor who moonlights as an exorcist, Kaname Tanama, one of Natsume's first real friends who can sense an Ayakashi's presence, Toru Taki, a cat-obsessed girl who is cursed by a malevolent yokai and teams up with Natsume to protect him and herself, Natsume's classmates Jun Sasada, Satoru Nishimura, and Atsushi Kitamoto, his caretakers Toko and Shigeru Fujiwara, as well as his yokai acquaintances Hinoe, Misuzu, Chukyu, aka mid-rank yokai, and Kogitsune, aka Little Fox. Even out of all those characters, there isn't a single one that's intolerable, and for an anime, that's fairly uncommon, I'd say. Well, I mean, the Little Fox is kind of annoying, but nothing overly serious. I especially like the relationship between Tanuma and Natsume, as Tanuma is just barely on the cusp of the world of the yokai, and Natsume does everything he can to make sure he does not get embroiled in it like he himself is. I want to murder every single one of you things. But what I'm trying to say is that free will is technically an illusion. In order to attain what we describe as free will, we must sacrifice some of our personal liberties to do that. And in a sense, that makes free will somewhat paradoxical, don't you think? Yeah, that's what I thought. You want to know about the good things, dear viewer? Alright, well then, lean in real close. Closer. 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 Okay, you ready? This series is fucking gorgeous! I mean that for real. I could honk like a goose about how goddamn beautiful this series is. So I will. Every single background is awash with color, life, atmosphere, and serenity that it feels like every frame takes place in a moderately priced hotel room painting. And some of the moments are honestly just so exquisite that I feel the beauty of it all crawling through my chest like an engorged heartworm. It may sound like I'm overselling it a little, as the animation quality isn't amazing, technically speaking, but it's exactly as involved as it needs to be, and if you're in the right mood, the naturalistic beauty this series exudes can be almost overwhelmingly soothing, with a slight splash of delightful creepiness on top as well. As I mentioned earlier, none of what the characters do or say play any part in some hypothetical grand destiny, and I very much appreciate that. It's a simple story about life, about meetings and partings, and moving on from the upsetting past while etching out a happier future. But it's got a little too much action to be deemed a slice of life anime. Honestly, I find it hard to slap a big old genre on this puppy because it seems to exist in its own pocket dimension of comfort and calmness, like sitting on a lazy boy in the middle of a deserted island. So, design-wise, character-wise, story-wise, I got nothing but praise, you better believe it. This is another series where there's technically no bad guy. While there are bad yokai, there are bad people too, and the series never tries to insinuate that one is better than the other. It sees both sides and goes out of its way to make even the monsters sympathetic. These yokai are not just monsters of the week there to try and hinder the protagonist. They're living, talking, thinking creatures who are simply divided from humanity but don't have any less significance. And I for one find that very refreshing and nice, to have the alleged antagonists be sympathetic and relatable to a certain degree. Also, one more quick thing. If you're very passionate about Japanese folklore and legends, then this series is definitely for you, because it's absolutely inundated in that stuff. That may be a negative point for some of you, as some may not have the background necessary to truly enjoy all the detail put into the spiritual and cultural side of it. But hey, not everything translates well, and we just have to accept that. Are they gone? Am I alone? Okay, good. Good, that means I can move on and talk about the bad things in this series. And I'm really glad to be done with that shit, because god damn, that was irritating. Luckily for this series, I don't have a metric fuck ton of things to say, just some little niggles. Wish I could say the same for these little fuckers, but I guess I can't. I suppose this is my life now. Ah yes, the minor bad things. I said previously that I like how this series doesn't have any type of fate or destiny sticking to its characters like stale Dorito crumbs, but there are times when it tries to be part of a bigger story, and it just feels out of place. Now, I won't lie, it's still entertaining when it happens, but the idea that a bigger story is going on behind Natsume and his inner struggles seems a bit unfitting. So far, nothing hugely significant has come out of these bigger story plots, but only time will tell if it fudges its pants on that regard. And one last little thing to say is that the music, while very nicely composed and fitting for most every scene, does get very repetitive over the course of the series. There are only about 7 or 8 songs throughout the whole series, and it can get on your nerves a wee bit if you're paying attention. Okay, moving into endgame here. So I'm going to tell you what my favorite and least favorite episodes are. Huh. Got through that one without anything weird happening. Guess that's good. Guess I'll just, yeah. Oh, what, this? No, that's nothing. It's nothing you need to concern yourself with. To distract from this awkward moment, I guess I'll just say that my least favorite episode is Nyanko's Book of Boredom. In this episode, Nyanko-Sensei gets drunk and acts like a dick to everyone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The reason this episode is my least favorite is because it's pretty much entirely about Nyanko-Sensei, who I said previously is better when paired with Natsume, and kinda comes off as being a total douche on his own. But funnily enough, this episode is followed by my favorite one, so I guess that helps a bit. So let me just say that it was very, very, very hard to pick a favorite episode, because so many of them tell so many good stories. But I'd have to say, when it all comes down to it, the one I enjoy from start to finish is 5 Day Mark. In this episode, Natsume accidentally gets cursed by a malevolent yokai who places upon him the 5 Day Mark, which slowly sucks away Natsume's strength until he can no longer run away. With help from Hinoe, a yokai who is madly in love with Natsume's grandmother Reiko, Natsume must find a way to get rid of the yokai cursing him before he gets devoured by the shadow stalking him. Welp, my reasoning for loving this episode is because I like the idea of a yokai that stalks you the way this episode's one does. It's actually kinda creepy sometimes, and while the payoff at the end isn't stellar, it's still genuinely entertaining from start to finish. Natsume Yūjin-chō is a series that I often turn to when I'm feeling sad or anxious. It just has this incredible calming effect to it that sucks you right in and makes you legitimately care about the characters and situations. It's a show that has a very delightful deepness if you belie its simplistic exterior, and it's more than definitely worth your time. I give Natsume Yūjin-chō 4.5 eyes out of 5. So, Natsume Yūjin-chō. Is it watchable? Well, it's so gorgeous at times that you may find yourself unable to look away. Is it enjoyable? Well, if you're looking for action and explosions and titties, you're probably not going to be happy here. But if you want just a calm and peaceful environment, then this series is going to welcome you with a hug always at the ready. Is it memorable? Well, I don't know of too many people who know about this series here. I'm pretty sure that the series is probably more popular in Japan because a 5th season is coming this year, and I for one am so very, very stoked by that. Now, I have to go do something, that I would need to do so that I don't see these yokai anymore. It's top secret, so yeah, don't follow me. I'm gonna go now. I'm gone.
Нет,
Well, that didn't work. Want to stay up to date with the latest EyeofSol news? You can follow me on Twitter as well as on Facebook at twitter.com/EyeofSol299 and facebook.com/EyeofSol. I update them every day, so if you want to check out news on the show as well as updates, just follow the links here. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my review of Natsume Yūjin-chō. I hope you enjoyed my shenanigans. If you did enjoy my shenanigans, I would appreciate a like and a share of this review, as well as a subscription to my channel because that makes me smile like you wouldn't even believe. If you want to check out my various social media sites, you can see the links to my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page there on the screen for you, as well as in the description. If you have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on, you can leave me a message in the YouTube comments on any one of my social media sites, or just let me know in any way you can think of to let me know what you want to see, and I will add it to my list. Alright? Thanks again for watching everybody, and I will see you next week for another movie review. 世界が